Well, it's not even one and done. It took just 11 games for Panthers owner David Tepper to decide his hire of Frank Reich wasn't the right one for the Carolina Panthers. And this isn't any ordinary Charlotte Sports Live. However, it feels like Groundhog Day. The Carolina Panthers have fired their head coach. Alongside Grace Grill, I'm Gabe McDonald. And did we say it's a must-win? Because this is a must-win game. Both these teams coming into 0-3 and in search of that first win of the season. But here on Black and Blue Kickoff Live, we have been winning since day one because we bring you exclusive interviews that you cannot get anywhere else, including one today with the Red Rifle himself, number 14, Andy Dalton. Watch the front when the ball is snapped. The 4-eye is going to come across the formation, playing a little game with the offensive line. They bring in their nickel guy as well. So they have 6 for LSU, 6. But watch Bryce Young keeping his eyes down the field. The pressure doesn't even faze him, even as he scrambles to the other side towards the boundary. Still keeps his eyes downfield, makes a spectacular throw. The coverage breaks down. Easy pitch and catch for the touchdown. 400 laps divided into the 4 stages for a total of 600 miles. So look for about 12 to 13 pit stops, a few more pit stops than a normal race. And the fuel window set anywhere between 61 to 65 laps. Let's focus strictly on how the top 4 QBs graded out in college. On my right, the number 1 prospect, according to Pro Football Focus, that being Bryce Young. Now, his grade of 92.2 in 2021 was the best in the college ranks. He won the Heisman that year, so it makes sense. I got to quote Drake real quick.
Uh-oh.
Better late than never, but never late is better. Why wait until now? I mean,
Right.
I think this is possibly a move that should have happened a little bit sooner. I mean, we saw him call the plays in the second half of the preseason games. One of the biggest headlines going into the game is actually not about the game itself. Frank Reich announcing this week that he's actually taking back the play calling duties from offensive coordinator Thomas Brown after just 3 games. One of those games was the Panthers' lone win of the season against the Houston Texans. Got to give a lot of credit to Kyle Larson just coming out here and being able to fight to the finish and get a big win, because you always want to set the tone early in the playoffs, and anytime you can get a win here, it's always big for any driver.
If you were David Tepper and you had the reins, who are you picking as the
I'm
next
doing
head coach?
everything I can to get Ben Johnson out of Detroit right now. He has the Lions playing at an unbelievable level. They rank top 10 in the NFL right now in every offensive category.
Here's the thing for TCU throughout the entire season is that they have somehow just found a way to win.
Yeah, good point. That's what good
That's
things
that
do.
dog in them, is that what they say?
The frog in them.
The frog.
It's pretty good.
There you go.
LeBron, real quick, what's the most random thing you've heard him say in a meeting or just outside
Man,
of
I know. He said one day, he came to meeting rooms, and he said, it was like Morris Chestnut. He said this. He did say this.
No, this could be one of those season-defining wins for these guys. I mean, you got to think about it. Last year, FAU, like we alluded to, in the Final Four. This is a huge win for them, but they were big. They out-rebounded them. They were able to be money at the line, only missing 1 free throw. That's what you need in games like this. When it comes down to the wire, you got to be able to hit those shots. The offense has been rather vanilla, but we want to see, some sprinkles, maybe a little cherry on top, some chocolate syrup. We need something. These guys need to show some flash, because this is really their last chance for a lot of these guys to make an impression before that cut day coming up.
Let's show us something. We need some flash.
First game back in a long time and getting a win, just everything you've been through. How are you feeling right now, man?
Man, I can't even watch that. This is tough.
All right, moving to baseball and some news that literally came out of left field, which concerns our local minor league club. The Charlotte Knights announced today that owner Dan Beaver is exploring a potential sale of the team that he's owned for nearly 30 years. Terry Rozier would have the last laugh in this one. Works into the lane, puts up the mid-range jumper, and puts it in. Even a month after our Halloween, he's still out there scaring his opponents. Terry with 37 points and a career-high 13 assists. Hearing all of that about Brandon Miller is a really good sign, because there are a lot of questions on what direction they were going to go in the draft, if they were going to get Scoot, if they were going to get Brandon. But him coming in, already having the edge like that, I think is a really good sign, because he's a guy that you're going to have to count on right away. With Miles missing those games, I think he's a guy that's going to see a lot of those minutes early on.